Okay, we're going to take another look at the rear tail lights. Now, if you've ever installed a set of headlights like these that I have on the front of this Panzer III, if you've ever done that, you probably removed a light that looked a lot like this. Okay, now this one happens to be plastic and came off that very Panzer III. But these two that are on the truck happen to be metal, and they came off a Mado all-metal Panzer III. But they're basically the exact same case, and it was pretty easy to do. I simply took my trusty nippers, and I nipped off this part that comes on the truck. You can see I cut it right off, right at the frame. And then I took a sanding stick and I made it nice and flat. Then I took a straight edge and my dental pick, and I went from corner to corner, and I scribed a mark on there right in dead center. And then I started out with a small and very sharp drill in a pin vise, and drilled the hole through. And then I went to a larger drill. A 3/16 is just about perfect for this, but then it's a little small, and you have to fit it to the individual lights. These lights are not all exactly the same diameter, they're pretty darn close, but so I took a needle file and trimmed it up until everything fit in there. And now I've just got a kind of a gentle press fit. I can just push them in there. When I get ready to permanently attach them, I'll either use some 5-minute epoxy or some super glue or whatever, you know. So then I'll take the front off of the light, and I'm using the 5mm red LEDs. Now these do stick out quite a bit, and I think that is a little bit on the toy-like side, but I want the bright red LED. And I mean, it is a toy truck after all, so I suppose if a guy wanted to, he could get taillights like off a half-track or something like that and do them with the slats across the front, you know, for low visibility for the whole blackout thing. But I'm just using the 5mm 5-volt LEDs that have the integral resistor built in, so I can just run them straight off the receiver. And I've selected my wires for this. I've got some really thin wire that I had gotten in a wiring kit that I never used, and it's the perfect length. So I'll just solder that right to the LED, run the wires up. Now I'm going to drill holes in the cross members to run the wires through, because otherwise they'll pinch in between the bed and the cross members when you put the bed down. And I did put a notch here in this one for the receiver wire to pass through, but for the rest of them I'm going to drill holes for the wires, because that'll keep it stronger than the notch would. So that's where we're at, and be back in a minute. Okay, once you get your wires soldered to your LEDs, you can feed them into the lights. You can see this one still isn't attached. I left that a little bit out because I was hoping to be able to show you guys. You don't want to use too much shrink tube on your LEDs. You want to keep those tabs really short in there, okay? Otherwise it'll interfere with trying to set down the ring, the face, whatever you want to call it, because it's really tight for space in there. Okay, so once everything's in, I just wired them in. I ran the wires from this one over here, and you can see that they're spliced together right here and soldered in shrink tube. We want to do everything right. This one is all attached, and that's not glued either. But then I drilled holes through the frame rails to run my wires up to the front. And then my receiver is going to sit right across here. So this is where my lights will plug in. I'm hoping to put my ESC and my DOS Micro up here with the receiver here, so the plugs from the DOS Micro can come from this side, and from the lighting from this, the wires will come back from the headlights. I don't know how well it shows up here. See if I can move this. I still got it wired up to stuff. Thinking about, that's the speaker sitting right there. I was thinking about that. Well, okay, guess it came out. I was thinking about trying to mount the speaker right in between the front suspension mounts. I wasn't sure how that would look, if it'd be that noticeable. I think it'd be a good spot for it. I don't know. What do you guys think? But that's what we're doing with the tail lights. Okay, we just removed the old tail lights, used old headlights from a Panzer III or Panzer IV, replaced the clear LED with the red LEDs. And remember, when you're looking for LEDs, to remember to look for this part with built-in integral resistor, 5 volts, and the 5mm LED size fits in there just right. I'll get all that you know, glued and permanently set in place, and I think that's going to be a pretty cool little swap on the tail lights. I'll get them wired for power and let you guys see what they look like lit up real soon here, but the weekend's almost over, so for now, we'll see you next time.